Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sonya Sunhart. Tonight I would like to talk about starseeds. The reason, and if you're here, you can always say hello if you feel like it. I put the chat back on. I'm starting to figure this thing out a little more. I've been working on creating an Ascension guidance program online with everything I've been learning about this time that we're in, the prophecies and the ascension, what we're calling the ascension, meaning we're going into a higher frequency. And what does that mean for us? As we can see, older systems are not making a lot of sense right now. Yeah, I was talking to my neighbor who was saying just everyone he talks to has a different version of, reality or what they're perceiving as this pandemic or this quantum leap in consciousness or this grand awakening. So again, it depends on our perception, and this is really getting interesting to know that. And personally, I feel like I came for this and I've been kind of training for this and preparing without actually always consciously knowing, but the subconscious is always working. And if we're intuitive and if we're tuning into ourselves a lot, we end up following that guidance. And if we don't, we might be getting into a lot of obstacles or things on our path. This is a bit like the hero's journey that Joseph Campbell talks about. And right now, there are many scenarios that are intertwined or intermingled together with this situation that we're in globally. And I would just like to say that I resonate with the term starseed. The starseed is often people that when they're younger they feel things a lot, empaths, people that are kind of wondering why this reality, for example, is so convoluted or dense or difficult to understand, in the sense of why people are doing what they're doing, why they're fighting, why there's violence, why there's all of this, because on other planets the frequencies are higher and there's less density. So right now we're talking about a third density reality, and then fourth density is often known as the collective consciousness or the consciousness that we all share. And then the fifth density and above is where other planetary beings and things like that exist. So yeah, and but basically it's all about frequency, which is what I've been learning a lot in these different mystery schools that I've been part of. The first one I took in 2013. The And it's been an ongoing journey of just this awakening and seeing through the veils, if you want to call it that, um, which is what this whole thing is about. I'm not denying that there's extreme things going on, and other people are just, having a good life, enjoying their family time. There's, like I said, there's all these scenarios happening, and I wanted to go on Facebook, but then I like do a live on Facebook, but I didn't feel like getting into I guess, the busyness or the clutter or the overwhelm of people and just information. I'm sensitive right now to energy, and I'm just needing that. But I still felt this call to do a little video tonight, because there's some of you that are interested that are watching this, and I I want to share. I'm really at a place of sharing. Like, often my whole spiritual path has been very, very internal and personal, and obviously it's been our whole lives we're on this spiritual journey, all of us. And in a way we're all star seeds, like we're all going to go back into other star planets, but we also might be, reincarnating to to continue the lessons that we need to have in order to break away from karmic relationships, situations that keep us in a limited perception of ourselves and our reality. And what star seeds are often known as in Dolores Cannon's, and many others have talked about the Pleiadians. The star seeds come in to uplift the frequency, to bring consciousness, since we're all sharing this consciousness together. What you focus on, energy flows where attention goes, as we know. And so if your consciousness is about, treating the planet right and cooperating and, praying for the well-being of the planet, and you don't necessarily know what you're doing, but you're just doing it because it's what makes the most sense to you. And you have to kind of follow your inner guidance. And often if star seeds are incarnated in families that are really not um, aware of this, they can really struggle to find their place and to speak their voice. And it's because you're just too weird, the way you perceive reality can seem out there. uh if you're young and you see things that other people don't, or then it's just an ongoing process of discovering ourselves, of remembering ourselves. And right now there's this is what's happening. I feel it, I see it, I'm part of it, with others. And it could be a very exciting time for us to know ourselves, to know thyself, as these evolved beings that have so much potential to develop the path of mastery, the path of ascension, the path of uniting your higher self with your human self. It's not a path that for everyone, because often what happens is you have to destroy your identity, your everything that you. So there's it could be initiation, it could be like you're transmuting ancestral DNA. You're releasing what all of the doesn't serve you, and attachments. And you know it's not everybody that is on that path. And it's not a judgment or any of that for anybody who is, who isn't. It's just that we can relate to each other when we are. And this is why the term star seeds is becoming, I think, more and more known. Somebody asked me today on Facebook if I knew of a source for getting to know your starseed origins, like where you were from before, because it doesn't mean you were from one planet. You could have been from many. I had mine done a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, with Sun Soul Astrology. And I'll put the link under below. But she said I was like from 9 different planets. So, and maybe it's a preparation for being able to be part of something, you know more than humanity, more like, because we can go interdimensionally, we can travel. um I know this might sound really weird to a lot of people, but for some of us it's just part of what we're expanding into, because there's this huge expansion right now of consciousness and of remembering and of tuning in and accepting ourselves as these spiritual beings that come in and have a human experience that can either be limiting or expanding. So we can be contracting into more and more of fear, more and more of and often because we come from those patterns. And but when we break free and we take away the layers and we do a lot of work on ourselves to release all of that, the ego structure and the identity, and you become nothing, the void, as in um, Joe Dispenza talks a lot about that, becoming nothing. And from that the void, the zero point, or the black hole of nothingness, or the womb of creation, everything can be birthed from that place. So the more we can go into that zero point, into that womb of nothingness, the more new worlds become possible. So yeah, that's a little bit of the mystery school, and also using sacred geometry. I've been doing some qigong in the sun, bare feet on the ground on Pachamama, stretching with no yoga mat, but just on the ground, to feel um, the frequencies again, the magnetics of the planet, and that's very good for grounding us and for giving us peace. And so I'm very, very, I won't say lucky, but I'm very grateful that I've somehow coordinated my life to be out here in nature, and with the intention, of course, is to regenerate myself. Regenerate, there's the word gene in there, which is another thing that we're going to talk about in Ascension, is how our genes are actually changing right now also. But all of this is free will choice. It's when you start to align more and more with your higher self, and you're choosing that daily, many times a day, becoming conscious of energy, of your breath, of where your attention is going. So, of course, right now, if people are still watching mainstream and media, or that information is it's built in as a program and television of a certain way of funneling the consciousness and people. And there are people who are just going to follow, and there are others who are not. And that's just the way it goes. So if we're not, then we're choosing to align ourselves with. I believe it's an organic ascension process of frequency, intentionality, our God self, our angelic nature, our higher dimensional self avatar, or, because we're so much more than the physical. We're actually, the physical is the last part. Everything happens through consciousness and through the waves before, so, and then they get molded into the reality, which Einstein talked about. Bruce Lipton talks about all this. So this is the kind of information that when you start putting this all together, you start to understand that, oh my god, yeah, this is what, creator being from within, the Christ from within, how all of this is through our own God self, our imagination, and our focus. So we're actually more powerful than we've ever been told. And I think what's happening is more and more people are tapping into that. The collective gatherings, these festivals of super high vibration, ecstatic dance and Burning Man and all these festivals, and where like these energies are so powerful, they're so uplifting, they're actually shifting frequencies. And right now, we're not allowed to gather, we're not allowed to do all these things. We're on lockdown. Um, there's this whole fear, like, bombarded at people nonstop. It's really interesting, again, to witness it, to be in the world but not of the world, um, because if you get caught in it, then you're just spinning around like in the hurricane. You're like, wee, you're just like going crazy with the information. And these next months, possibly even years, couple of years, we might be experiencing a lot of that, right? This because a lot of people are not going to be able to stand these frequencies if they're not aligning with love, peace, at least peace, and then love, joy, bliss. As we're heading into, and who knows the different capacities that we're developing as we go into these higher frequencies. So it's fascinating, and I'm learning as I go. I'm someone who constantly. That's another thing about star seeds is their brains. They're just like they absorb. Like I'm listening to David Wilcock, and obviously a star seed, obviously someone who's had to go his own way, do his own thing, do his own research. A lot of these people, they don't necessarily even have degrees in or PhDs or any of that. Some do, some don't. I mean, it's an inner compass that's guiding. And I have that compass, and even though I try to fit in the box and make everything normal, I it's okay not to be normal. It's okay to follow your intuition and develop that and follow these mystery schools and all that. I wouldn't say follow. I mean, gurus. A lot of stuff's been coming out about that. Um, you have to become your own guru, especially now more than ever, and then find groups that you resonate with, that you can feel safe to be who you are, to speak your truth, to explore these things without being shut down, without being, um, uh, yeah, all of that. So, as much as sometimes, that's the thing, you care about, yeah, you have to just follow your own guidance, and that's where meditation and these different techniques come in, that I will get into some of what I use, but I use so many different ones, even though I did Kundalini for 10 years and I'm a teacher, and I've learned so much through that, and I've transmuted a lot that I wasn't even aware of through Kundalini Yoga, which is breath. Right now I'm doing a lot of breath work, and like I said, some qigong and some more of the yin yoga, which is very gentle and longer stretches. Stretching before bed has been really helping me to sleep better, because these frequencies, sometimes the Schumann resonances can affect our our, our nervous systems. So yeah, that's I wanted to just share that, because I know people that are still listening, they're interested and they probably resonate with being something like either a mystic, a misfit, somebody who thinks for themselves, who wants to just find their own answers, and who've heard about these things, star seeds, ascension, things like that. And I want to be as truthful and as honest with my own embodied experience, as someone who's had children, who was married, um, who's tried to fit in, be normal and all of that, and realize at some point that it doesn't necessarily work. So what does work? Well, I'm gonna have to figure that out as I go. But the more I tune into myself, the more I can be guided by my soul, and then I can just feel better about my reality and what I'm creating. I want to create this new earth. I am creating this new earth. I can't say I am. I want to. I'm in it. Regeneration Oasis is a place to connect with your own divine nature in nature. I can hear the frogs outside right now, and these are my childhood dreams of reconnecting to nature and having people reconnect to nature and children, and because if we don't care about it, then we're not going to take care of it, and that starts with ourselves. So if we start to love ourselves, and do that daily, and love the everything around us, and bring the sacredness back into our reality. I think the Native Americans, the indigenous and all that, had a sacred relationship, and so did the ancient civilizations, with Atlantis and Mu, and then probably on these other planets, this is how they live. It's they live with the energy and the frequencies, and they harmonize with their environment and they harmonize with each other, just like even in the movie Avatar, um, we're meant to be one with. This is these are the laws here. The law of one is a big focus in the mystery school with David Wilcock, and also with his beautiful wife Elizabeth, who does the qigong and just how the energy flow is meant to be a daily practice. And even now, I'm spending half my day on the energy and nature and all that, and then the other part, well, I have my daughter, and I'm doing online stuff and the computer, and then cleaning the house and all the other practical things like that. So, to stay balanced, it's not like I'm doing just that. I'm just doing the ascension stuff, but definitely I've brought it back into the main focus because I think that during this pandemic and as we emerge out of this, we're going to be we're already realizing what's important: our health, nature, our connection to source, and how we need to be aligned to be creating the best reality for ourselves and for the future generations. So yeah, that's my little share for tonight. And I did pick a card from this wonderful Starseed Oracle deck. Because the more, like I said, I feel a resonance with the whole starseed thing. Um, it's just it's great, to know that you're not alone. I actually even had visitation orb lights, which I've had in my life throughout my life at different moments. The energy is it's just very beautiful, and I had this energy even when I had my near death experience, and so it's almost like a family reunion, I guess, but the family that this is like a light family. Um, I don't know how to explain it exactly, but so I'm sharing that because it's the new normal is be yourself, be authentic, be in integrity with your own embodied experience. And whether people believe me or not, or it doesn't matter anymore to me. Like I'm not here to please anyone or to. I'm just here to express and be me and create my reality. So, the courageous peony. Oh, look, it all rhymes. Isn't that sweet? So, oh wait, do I have enough light here? I don't know, it's kind of dark, but oh, there, a little bit more light. Okay, it says multifaceted, unique nature. Let yourself be seen. Perfect. And it's like a person with a big giant peony on her head. Okay. So flowers don't open and close according to, wait, I don't know how to, I guess I might need glasses. Okay. They embrace all of what they are and show it to the world around them. The peony doesn't try to compete with the cherry blossom, and the cherry blossom doesn't try to compete with the tulip. They own what they are and trust the timing of their true nature. You're being called to do the same. It's time to open yourself up to being seen. Time to share your incredible, multifaceted true nature with the world around you. To uncover and reveal your soul's greatest gifts without wavering. To own your uniqueness without apology. There's a flower on the planet that holds the same qualities that your soul is readying itself to express. Let it inform you. You may have been taught that it's safer to keep your light hidden and your voice small, to hide behind the bushes instead of growing tall. The courageous peony is here to remind you that it's safe to embody all of who you truly are. It's safe to share your voice and let yourself be seen. At first, it may feel uncomfortable, and you may be afraid of what others think. But with each passing day, it does become easier. Little by little, you realize that it draws in those who are meant for you, and experiences you've been longing for arrive at your feet. Starseed Inquiry. How are you being called to allow yourself to be more visible and seen in the world? That's pretty cool because I was just talking about all of that, and I just picked it out and I stuck it in here, and then I said I'll read it once I get online. And so that's also the way synchronicity works. And it's a beautiful gift. The more we align with our true essence, the more magical, as in, that's it. We meet the right people at the right time. We get what we need when we need it. This is really what starts to happen, and I've had to experience that myself to be able to embody it and to share it. So believe me, don't believe me, it doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna share my message, and yeah. So thanks for listening. It was a longer video, but it is what it is. I don't always plan. Sometimes I take a couple of weeks where nothing's coming that I feel like sharing, but sometimes I can share more. But hey, hey, Quirky Cosmo. Hello, sweetie. So yeah, that's it. That's I'm at the end of my Starseed video. Um, and thank you. Good to, yeah. We're keeping in touch because as Starseeds, like I was saying, we recognize each other, we assist each other. Sometimes, it can get a little uh well, right now everybody's a little, yeah. And I think you were putting something on tonight too, so I'll listen to yours probably tomorrow. So that's it. We're creating a community of star seeds and people who are really, I guess, truth seekers. But then beyond that, it's like you realize that you're also the one creating that truth and what you want to focus on. And if it's all frequency, then that's what we're doing. We're bringing that. Yeah, we'll chat after. Okay, so thanks for listening. If you're still here, and I'll have my program. I'm working on that. I'm hoping, I won't say for when, but I have a deadline. I have a business coach who is, you assisting me because I can go all over the place, which is the quantum all over. So I'm going to refocus on my offering, my years of just everything I've been learning, and putting it together in a concise, harmonious, coherent way so that other star seeds and other people that are looking for answers outside the box, outside the mainstream, they're going to be able to find it. And I'll make it affordable because I know all of these different schools that I've taken over the years have been more expensive, but I want to just make it affordable so more people who resonate. I think more and more people are going to start to see and understand themselves as beings, as cosmic beings, as beings that are not, that we're just, we're coming through and we're co-creating this collective consciousness together. So thank you for being here tonight, and so many blessings in these challenging yet very exciting times. And I'm wishing all of you um, a beautiful week, life, and ascension process. Bye.